Hello and welcome back to the channel. Zach here, and today we're going to do Shiba Inu coin price predictions. We are going to talk about a recent article which has given some of their predictions. We're also going to jump inside the Shiba Inu Calculator, which I've highlighted in some previous videos. And here's the thing what we're going to do in particular. I'm going to give you the percentage gains that would have to happen in the next 5 years and in the next 10 years to have Shiba Inu get to 1 cent, as well as to see Shiba Inu get to a ½ cent. So you're going to want to stick around for the entire video. I think you're really going to like what we have for you today. And I know a lot of people here on the channel are long-term holders. So before we get into it, I would just want to kind of give you my stance on Shiba Inu right now as well. Currently, at the time of this recording, we're sitting at number 28 in market cap. You can see we're slightly up in the green here today. I have said before, and I'll say it again, I am holding until at least 2025, probably beyond, right? Because I think a lot of people have that price target in mind of a ½ cent or maybe 1 cent for those big gains that are potentially looming down the line. And I don't, differ from any of those people's opinions. I myself am also holding for the long term, and I think we could see that represented in the charts here, right? Because there's really been a lot of consolidating happening since the big pop-up. So we're going to take a look at some of these stats first, then we're going to get into that article I mentioned with some predictions, then we're going to jump into the SHIB calculator. And again, I'm going to give you some exact percentage gains that we're going to have to see in order to reach these milestones. But looking at the charts right here, we could see, and we'll scroll down here just for a second, and we'll see that, I want you to pay attention to this right here, Shiba Inu ROI. And what this represents is if you would have got into Shiba Inu right when it hit the market, you would be up, let's see here, 42,000, hold on, let me make sure. No, 422,000 and some change percent, which is absolutely insane. But I want you to keep that number in mind as we go into some of these other numbers later on in the video. Another thing that I want to highlight, it's off its all-time high. It's down 82% from its all-time high that was set back on May 10th, about a month ago, a little bit longer than a month ago now, give or take about 6 weeks ago now. So we saw that it got up to this 0.388 level, and we're kind of working our way back up there slowly. Of course, we've got a lot of catalysts looming, but when I look at this chart, right, we can see that we've been kind of consolidating for a long, long time, which I think is good. It represents a lot of people are holding this. Of course, we had the big sell-off from way up here at the top, right? But you had a lot of people make a lot of money very quickly. So it makes sense as to why they sold off here. But then you kind of settle back into these levels. You could see that a lot of people are, holding this for the long term over the past couple months, over the past month, I should say, when we hit those lows on the 23rd of May. So let's jump into this article here, and this gives a nice little background on Shiba Inu. And they talk about, at the end of the summer of 2020, SHIB was released on the Ethereum blockchain as an ERC20 token. So it is running on the Ethereum blockchain. It has a total of 1 quadrillion coins. That's how many were created. Half of them were transferred to the Uniswap DEX, and those keys were destroyed, right? We've talked about this as well. The second half were transferred to the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin. The creators of the project explain as follows: we are the first project to follow this path. Everyone should buy coins on the open market, ensuring a fair and complete distribution in which developers do not own the tokens and cannot dump them into the community. So then what Buterin did, as we know, we've talked about it here on the channel. If you're new here, though, you're going to learn a little bit about the history before we jump into this Shiba Inu calculator that's super cool. But Vitalik burned 90% of the Shiba Inu tokens that were stored in his wallet by sending them to a non-existent address. In total, Buterin destroyed 410 trillion tokens, worth $6.5 billion. On May 13th, Buterin donated $1 billion to fight the COVID-19 in India, the COVID-19 Relief Fund, which was headed up by Sandeep Nawal, who was the co-founder, who still is, the co-founder of Polygon. So this kind of goes into some of the other details. As we mentioned, it hit its all-time high way back on May 10th. Now, something to mention here, I just want to interject right here. I've been saying that it would be great if we can get back to all-time highs, okay? If we can get back to this number by the end of the year, I think that would be a huge win. And again, I know a lot of people want to see that 1 cent today and tomorrow or next year, but it's not likely. Okay, I just want to be upfront with you. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment, informational purposes only. But if we go back and look at this, where it was at its all-time high on May 10th, we were at a $13.5 billion market cap. Currently, right now, we're at 2.696. Okay, so just say 2.7 billion market cap. So we have a long way to go, right? Roughly $10 billion to make up in the market cap just to get back to all-time highs. So I've been saying on the channel for a long time, if we can get back up to all-time highs or even close to it, like this 2.4 level by the end of the year, I think that would be a huge win for Shiba Inu. And again, it's easier to say this when you're holding for the long term, right? All right, so now that we've addressed that, they're also listing a few places where you can get Shiba Inu on some major exchanges here. Coinbase not yet there. It's already listed in this article, so hopefully that's some good foreshadowing. Now they give some price predictions, okay? Then we're going to jump into the SHIB calculator. So they say by the end of 2021, it may rise to reach the 20 level. I think this would be a pretty good win too. Okay, this is a forecast here that I think, maybe a little conservative, but I think it's also a pretty solid one. How about by the end of 2022? This is a 2230 prediction, so a little bit higher. How about 2025? Now we're looking at getting back to all-time highs, okay? It's assumed that by the end of 2025, the price can reach maybe the 3106. Will continue to grow. It could hit the 3860. Now, I do think these are a little conservative estimates. However, this would indicate that it would take 5 years for us to get back to all-time highs. That could potentially happen. I don't see it taking that long for us to get there. I think maybe in the next 2 years we get there, and then we break through that. But let's take a look at the Shiba Inu calculator now. So if you haven't seen this website, super cool, right? So it's shiba-calculator.online. I did a whole video on this as well on the channel. You can just type in calculator, Shiba Inu calculator, and put my name in there, and it'll probably pop up in YouTube. You can check out the whole tutorial on that and how it's all working. And but here today I've got one SHIB listed here. Okay, it's kind of cool. You can actually change the value here of how many SHIB you want to, actually hold. I just like to keep it simple here, one SHIB, okay? And then USD, you can change this currency over here, okay, to all different sorts of currencies. But we're going to keep it on USD, and we're going to start with half a cent. All right, so it shows you what the market cap would have to be at this target price. It also shows you the difference to the current price. So keep these numbers in mind. In order to have one SHIB worth a half a cent, okay, we'd have to have a 72,892% increase. Now, we're going to break that down and what it would look like for a 5-year span, so how much it would have to grow per year over a 5-year span and a 10-year span to reach this price. Then we're also going to look at this. So if it got to 1 cent, and this is only where the current price is right now, right? It would have to grow 145,885% to get to 1 cent, where the current price sits right now. So again, keep these numbers in mind. You're going to get a hard refresh here because you're going to see what I'm going to show you here in just a sec. So let's break this down, right? So let's minimize this. Shiba Inu price predictions. So let's start with 1 cent, right? Let's start with the really big goal. For Shiba Inu to reach 1 cent in the next 5 or 10 years. So we take that 146,527% increase divided by 5 years. So if we wanted to reach 1 cent in the next 5 years, we'd need a 29,305% increase on average per year. Okay, now if we take it out for 10 years, if we want to reach 1 cent in the next 10 years, we would need a 14,652% increase each year on average to reach our goal. Now, we could take a look at this bottom part as well. So for Shiba Inu to reach a half cent in the next 5 or 10 years, now we're looking at 73,213% increase to reach a half cent. Divided by 5 years, we're looking at a 14,643% increase each year. Now, if we break it out till 10 years, we would need a 7,321% increase each year. So this is pretty cool. We can break this down, and we're doing this all through this website, which is really neat. And then I just did some quick math here to kind of showcase some of the figures. Now, I want to go back to something that showed how much we've grown, how much ROI we've seen since Shiba Inu was started. Now, it started way back in August 2020, but it really didn't get going until, early this year, right? So if we take a look here, we can see the percentage gains in the ROI. And obviously, this is a huge percentage increase. If we can see something similar to this, obviously we can reach a ½ cent and 1 cent much sooner. But is it likely? Let's be realistic here. Probably not, right? We saw a huge, huge pump, and that's most likely not going to happen again. However, we could see steady growth, and that's why I'm holding this asset for the long term. I'm holding, for 5+ years, probably even longer. What I've said is when it gets to 1 cent, this is my exit strategy, something I talk a lot about on the channel. Always have an exit strategy with every asset that you own. So my exit strategy, at least my partial exit strategy, will be at 1 cent. I will take 20 to 30% profits when it hits 1 cent. All right, until then, I'll be holding. So let me know what you're doing down in the comments. Hopefully you got some value out of this video, and I'd love to hear from you. And if you got some value also, please like and subscribe. And I'm not going to pull it up this time in the video, but we're also building a private community, a Discord community, and Patreon community. We'd love to have you over there. And it's down in the description below. You can check that out. We've got the supporter level as well as the insider level, and we're adding new members each and every day. And eventually we're going to build a nice portfolio together and be able to track that, which will be a lot of fun. So right now we're just waiting on a bunch of positive catalysts that are looming for Shiba Inu, but hopefully you can see now where we need to go in the next 5 to 10 years to reach these big milestones that I know a lot of people want to hit. So like and subscribe if you got some value, and I'll see you in the next video.